Hi guys, welcome to my channel Needs Travel and Food. Hope you all enjoying watching my recipes video. If you like it, please give a like, comment and share. Don't forget to subscribe if not done yet. And please click on the bell icon for new uploads. Today, I'm going to discuss everything about sponge cake. You might have seen many videos on sponge cake recipes, but no one talks about how to decide the quantity of flour, sugar, how much would be the weight of the cake, and many more. So please watch my video till the end for more infos. So let's get started. How to make a sponge cake from scratch? What ingredients are required to make a cake? How much quantity of flour required for a kg cake? How much quantity of other ingredients are required for the cake? These are the questions that arises in our mind when we think to bake a cake. What type of mixing method to be used? Egg foam methods, 2 types. Separated egg method or whole egg method. Examples. To answer all these queries, today I am going to discuss and cover all the topics in this session. So, what is a sponge cake? The first sponge cake came into known during the Renaissance period in Spain. It is made up of 3 basic ingredients: flour, eggs and sugar. It is a light cake that is leavened with beaten eggs and sugar and gently folded into the flour. During the 19th century, addition of butter to the traditional sponge cake leavened with baking powder resulted in the creation of Victoria sponge cake, which is also known as European sponge cake. Later, ingredients like vinegar, hot milk, water came into known in addition to the traditional sponge cake recipes. Most of the American recipe use these ingredients to make the sponge cake that differs from European sponge cake recipes. Sponge cake is also known as foam cakes, where eggs are beaten with sugar to incorporate air, form a foamy mass and add volume to the cake batter. This process is known as egg foam method. Here you can see whole eggs and sugar are beaten up in a mixing bowl and then flour is gently folded into it. The cake batter form is transferred to a cake tin and then baked at a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius. The result is a beautiful sponge cake. Types of mixing method in egg foam method. First is the separated egg method, where no butter, oil, milk, baking powder are being used. Step 1. Egg yolks, sugar, salt and vanilla are beaten up together in a bowl and then flour is gently folded into the egg mixture. Step 2. Egg whites is beaten up along with the sugar to form a meringue, and this meringue is gently folded into the egg and flour mixture. Step 3. The cake batter in the mixing bowl is then transferred into a cake tin and it is baked at a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius. The result is a beautiful sponge cake. Whole egg method. No butter, oil, milk, baking powder are used in this recipe. Step 1. Whole eggs along with the sugar are beaten up together over a double boiler till the temperature reaches 40 degrees Celsius. This is done so that sugar is completely dissolved in the eggs. Eggs are removed from the double boiler and whipped up till it forms a foamy mass. Step 2. Vanilla essence and salt are added to the egg foam and mixed well. Flour is then gently folded into the egg mixture to form a cake batter. Step 3. The cake batter is then poured into a cake tin and baked at 180 degrees Celsius in a preheated oven. The result is a beautiful sponge cake. Variation advances in sponge cake. The basic sponge cake were little dry in texture, due to which in 19th century, addition of oil or milk, baking powder to the cake batter resulted into moist and more soft cakes like Genoese sponge, chiffon and angel food cakes. The first variation in sponge cake is if you add melted butter or oil and milk to the whole egg method sponge and bake at 180 degrees Celsius or lower, you get a beautiful Italian Genoese cake. The second variation in sponge cake is if you add oil and baking powder to the separated egg method sponge and bake at 163 degrees Celsius, you get a beautiful chiffon cake. The third variation in sponge cake is angel food cake. Here, in separated egg method, only egg whites, sugar and cream of tartar are mixed together in a mixing bowl and whipped up to form a meringue. Flour is gently folded into the meringue mixture and transferred to the cake tin, and then it is baked at 163 degrees Celsius in a preheated oven, and you get a beautiful angel food cake. So the next question arises in our mind is, which cake is best to make? What to conclude? The type of cake baking depends upon personal choice to make. Sponge cake are relatively quick and easy to make due to less ingredients. Both sponges made by egg foam method are soft, delicate with coarse crumbs, little dry in texture, but mostly offer recipes that require to soak syrups, fillings with custard or jams, enjoyed with buttercream or pastry cream frostings. Mostly used for making trifles, madeleines, shortcakes, and for lady finger cake that you see in tiramisu. Genoese cake is type of sponge cake that consists of added melted butter, due to which it is moist, tastes better than sponge, used as a layer cake for ganache, buttercream or mousse fillings, and also used in multi-layered desserts. Chiffon cake is a hybrid version of sponge and Genoese. It is a rich, airy, moist cake that melts in the mouth due to oil used in the cake. It tastes best when layered with whipped cream and fresh fruits, or layered with fillings and frostings like pastry creams, ice creams. Angel food cake is a light, fluffy, a pure white crumb cake that are quite moist, can be served plain or either with fruits and whipped cream. It can be filled with fruit jams, sauces drizzled over it, or sometimes glazes are poured over the angel food cake. Next question arises in our mind is, how much quantity of flour and other ingredients are required to make a sponge cake? The answer to all these is baker's percentage. A baker's percentage is used to calculate the percentage of each ingredient used in the recipe in order to make it successful. It is the formula of balancing in baking. For example, in order to make a successful cake recipe, the ingredients that strengthen the cake structure should balance the ingredients that tenderizes the cake. Flour and eggs are said to be toughener that strengthen the cake structure, whereas sugar, fats are the softener that tenderizes the cake. Baker's percentage. A baker's percentage is a ratio of weight of ingredient divided by the weight of the flour multiplied by 100%. It is widely accepted to express formulas for baked products. The baker's percentage of flour is always expressed as 100% and the other ingredients are expressed as a percentage of the flour weight. The sum of all the percentages should always exceed 100%. For example, if you want to bake a half kg cake, you have to calculate the weight of each ingredients used in the recipe, for which you require this baker's percentage formula. I have taken example of a pound cake purchased from a store where it states all baker's percentage on the pack. I followed the calculation to know each ingredient's weight. Add all the percentage of each ingredients to get a total percentage. If you want to bake a half kg cake, you should know how to calculate the weight of the flour, which is 500 grams divided by the total percentage. You get the weight of the flour. Note, the baker's percentage of flour should always be expressed as 100%. As we know the weight of the flour, now for sugar, baker's percentage is given. So we will substitute the values in the baker's percentage formula and we will get the weight of the sugar. Similarly, we will calculate the weights of all other ingredients using baker's percentage formula and then add all the weights. By this, we can compare the calculated weight with the desired weight. Here you can see the calculated weight is 530 grams and our desired weight is 500 grams. Advantages of baker's percentage. Easy to calculate weights of all ingredients by using this formula. It is easy to scale, multiply and divide the recipe. One can change or add any single ingredient's percentage without changing other ingredient percentage. And it helps to determine the final weight of the cake. I tried a half kg sponge cake recipe using baker's percentage formula. Here are the calculations and the results. From the result, you can see that my calculated weight of the cake is equal to the desired weight of the cake. If the calculated weight of the cake is far more than the desired weight of the cake, then adjust the weight of the desired cake by changing the percentage of sugar, eggs and other ingredients in the recipe except the flour percentage. I baked a sponge cake using this baker's percentage formula and it turned out to be great. Check out my video in the description below. Please remember, in baker's percentage, you can increase or decrease the percentage of any ingredients except the flour should always be 100%. You can see my calculated percentage for different sponge cakes. Economical sponge, eggless cake with curd and eggless cake with condensed milk. Baker's percentage is a simple math where flour is always considered as 100%. And other ingredients percentage can be more or less than 100 depending upon one's choice. By looking at the percentage, you can guess whether the recipe consists of more or less liquid. Is it sweet, dry or moist? It thus helps in predicting the final look of the product. If you are going to try your new recipe using baker's percentage formula, please share your comments and results below. So friends, when are you going to bake your own cake recipe? If you like my video, please subscribe it. I'm going to share more secrets with you in my upcoming videos. So stay tuned.